This is a book, as you see, the true story about naval occupation of a village and a people's relentless struggle to go back home.
15th March 2013. The National Library Services Board Auditorium in Colombo saw members of the Christian and Catholic clergy, civil society activists, concerned citizens and the residents of Mullikulam gather for the launch of a book titled Sky No Roof.
May I kindly request you all to stand and observe.
Observing a minute's silence for all those killed during the war and those who have been disappeared and displaced, Father Jayabalan went on to introduce the story of the people of Mullikulam and the inspiration behind the book, which happened to be a young girl Divya's school assignment.
The family of Divya, they were residing in Talbupadu in a coconut estate belonging to a benevolent individual. So in one of the visits, someone told us about Divya's school assignment. This is a school assignment. When she was in grade 11 or 12, she took up displacement of the Mullikulam villages and the problems faced by that. This is school work. We borrowed this work and we were discussing why don't we do research on this and put out a book in English which everybody can read.
Located in the Musili division in the Mannar district and home to an estimated population of 400 families, the village of Mullikulam has a rich history spanning over 250 years. Displaced in the year 2007, however, the lives of the residents of Mullikulam has never been the same.
அப்போதுதான் பாதுகாப்பு செயலாளர் 2012-12-26 நாள் எம்மண்ணிலைமை சந்தித்தார். பலன் இயேசு பிறந்த அடுத்த தினத்தில் அவர் வருகை காணப்பட்டதால் எமக்கு விடிவு கிடைக்கும் என்ற ஏக்கத்தோடு காத்திருந்தோம். ஆனால் அவர் எம் கிராமம் உயர் பாதுகாப்பு வலயம் என முத்திரை பதித்தார். அவ்வேளையில் தொலைந்தது என் மண், கண்ணீர் விட்டு கதறியும் எமக்கு எம் மண் கிடைக்கவில்லை.
Good evening to you all.
A speech by the Catholic Bishop of Manna, Right Reverend Dr. Rayapu Joseph, for the occasion, was read out by Father Sebamale of Talvupadu. The address highlighted, amongst other things, the struggle waged by the residents of Mullikulam for over a 5-year period to return back to their homes.
This publication comes at a time when the historic, picturesque, resourceful village of Mullikulam at the southern edge of the Manna district is to be wiped out of the map and to be replaced by a Navy camp. We conducted peaceful protests, wrote many letters, attended many meetings, appealed to highest in the government, the LLRC, international community. But even in the face of illegal occupation and repeated broken promises, as true Catholics, we retained faith in a prayerful, peaceful, democratic and legitimate struggle. While in no way adequate for people to live in dignity and freedom, we are thankful to see at least some of the promises being kept in terms of infrastructure developments committed to by the Sri Lanka Navy on the 26th December 2012. But we are concerned about continuing and even increasing restrictions to the church, fishing and cultivation even after the set commitments on 26th December 2012. We also request the Navy to ensure that preschool and schools are kept free from Navy influences in any way and are able to function as civil institutions as they are in other parts of the country.
This is a hurried job doing this.
Kusal Pereira, the editor of Sky No Roof, spoke to those gathered about the process of compiling the book that includes a collection of first-hand information alongside legal provisions.
Promising them they could come back in 3 days. When I went through this whole draft, I found that it had 2 things that had to be highlighted, which I think I have done in this book in my editing when I put that into a readable format. One is the human aspect of all these 400 plus villagers who still keep hoping that they could get back home. The other is the legal side of it. Was there any legal provisions that allowed the Navy to take control of that village and displace these people?
There is no legal basis or law under which Mullikulam is occupied. 73% of the land is private title, owned in part by the Bishop of Manna, but mostly by private families. The rest of the land, that is about 22%, is state grants under the Land Development Ordinance, permits, and some, only 2 acres and 40 perches is state land. So when we talk about the occupation of Mullikulam, we are essentially talking about the occupation of private land. To our knowledge, in our research, we have never found a gazette for Mullikulam. Having said that, in either case, since August 2011 and the emergency lapsing, there is no legal basis for the continued occupation of Mullikulam. As the President himself has said, the ordinary law of the land should now suffice.
She went on to mention the process by which the legalizing of an illegal occupation has taken place through a series of concessions and negotiations.
Every time we talk about a legal action or a concrete legal action to challenge this, what happens in these past 5 years is that the Navy comes up with some concession. We will allow you to go to the church. We will allow you to come within 50 meters of the river. So if you go to court, you may not be allowed to achieve that compromise. So this process of legitimizing the illegality has been done by using the vulnerability and the desperate need of these people to go back home.
இதே நேரத்தில் நாங்கள் இங்கே இருந்து இந்த மாதாட ஆலயம் போய் வாரண்டா எப்படி வாரது? சில தூரம் நாங்கள் போய் வர என்னோட வயசுக்கு முடியுமா? என்னை போல் வயசானவங்களும் கிடக்குறாங்க, அவங்க போய் வர முடியுமா? எங்களோட ஊரையும் எடுத்து நாங்கள் பரம்பரையாக அடக்கப்பட்ட மையவாடியும் எடுத்தால் எங்களோட நிலை என்ன?
எல்லார்ட்டையும் கையெடுத்து கும்பிட்றோம். எங்களோட கிராமத்தையும் எங்களோட ஊரையும் எங்களோட கோயிலையும் அது அண்டிய பகுதியை எங்களுக்கு பெற்றுத்தரும்படி உங்களை தாழ்மையோடையும் மிகுந்த மன்னிப்போடையும் கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம்.